Doubts and fears in low carb, fasting, love, and everything in between. Medyo na preoccupy ako the previous days because alam niyo na, meron kaming big event na pinagtatanungan. And recently, it came to my attention na meron palang maraming nangangaway when it comes to low carb and fasting. And alam natin, hindi naman tayo nangangaway, di ba? But I think it is also a good time to address kung ano yung mga usual na mga doubts and fears ng mga tao when it comes to low carb. So, I am here today with my one true love. This is Dr. Kenneth and Ryan Han. Good morning! And today, pag-uusapan natin, hindi ko actually nakita yung video na nagsasabing merong nag-debunk ng mga kung ano ang pinagsasabi ko. So as you all know, I'm a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. Hindi rin ako endocrinologist. I'm not pretending to be anybody else. I'm just myself, Dr. Rojo. And by specialty, it's facial plastic surgery. So I'm a surgeon, but on the side, I do education. I provide education when it comes to nutrition and when it comes to proper eating. And we know na low carb nutrition is our pinaka-core when it comes to optimizing our health. So, yun yung ating mga pinaniniwalaan as of now. And I think one of the first people whom I shared this knowledge with, especially about fasting, naunang fasting, di ba? Fasting as a low carb, is of course my beloved, no? Si Ken na, my one true love, na noon ay matali kong kaibigan. So, he's been a very, very good friend to me at isa siya sa mga unang nakalam when it comes to low carb nutrition and fasting. At kapag hindi yun approved sa kanya, I will also doubt myself because he is one of our top 10% in our class. Magaling na magaling kaya yan. Balik ako sa kanya. We are classmates in med school and I always look up to him. Magaling yan. So kapag meron ako sinabing something scientific and not supported by basic biochemistry at kukontrahin niya, I will really reconsider. And so far, when I wrote the books, isa siya sa mga unang nakabasa ng mga first draft ng books. Diba? And kung approve sa kanya, wala na akong pakialam sa buong mundo. Because I trust his genius. Alam ko kung I know if I'm saying something right, at least basic science, if he is supporting it. So, can you remember lang kung ano yung mga usual na mga question the moment na when we first learned about fasting? Because, of course, pinag-aralan natin in med school, we never talked about fasting. It's just starvation, kung ano-ano man. Can you still remember kung ano yung unang question na nag-appear sa isipan mo when you first heard that I'm already fasting, that I'm doing it, or like that?
Isip ko lang na, kasi di ba nasanay tayo na palagi kumakain, ganun yung energy lang yun.
Where will you get your energy? Saan manggagaling yung energy kapag
Usually narinig ko.
oo, kapag hindi kumakain? Because yun nga, yung pinaka-core natin before is we thought na yung pagkain talaga is yun yung source of fuel natin. And then when we look into our biochemistry, nakita natin na we have stored energy pala. At hindi lang pagkain yung only na source of fuel natin. Of course, eventually kakain tayo. But it's not really a case na kailangan kumain tayo all day, every day. Because meron tayong ano yung ating storage form ng ating energy sa ating katawan. Mahiya naman ako magtanong no, sa aming top 10% of our class na tinatanong ko siya ngayon. But for the sake of you hearing it from somebody else other than me, ano yung stored energy natin sa katawan? Kalimutan. Stored energy in the form of
Fats.
Nadidistract aking love. So, ang forms of energy natin, fats would be our greatest source of energy na stored fats. And before niyan, meron tayong glycogen in our liver. Kaya nga nagka-carbo-loading ang mga athletes, di ba? You're physically active, that's why sinasabi ng coach mo pala that you really eat carbs para before exercise for glucose. It has an importance because our muscles, especially kapag hindi ka fat adapted, they are dependent on glucose. They are dependent on glucose. Hindi pa sila sanay na pinapagana nila yung kanilang machinery using ketones, which is the energy coming from fats. So, it's really expected na kung marami yung nagtatanong na saan ako kukuha ng energy if hindi ako kumakain. So, the answer is, you already have stored energy within you. Meron na yan. Meron na yan. Kailangan lang siya matap. Okay? So, aside from that one, can you still remember kung meron pang mga ibang tanong ng mga tao?
Usually hindi tanong, yung ano nila is parang skeptical sila at first kasi iniisip nila na hindi ko kaya yan, yung ganun yung mga sinasabi.
Okay, okay. It's most commonly on the mindset. On the mindset. And yung iba, natatakot sila kasi daw yung low carb, walang carbohydrate at parang hindi siya sustainable when it comes to health. Pero again, ni-emphasize natin that glucose as the only source of energy is not essential. Kasi nga, kayang-kaya natin gumawa low yung audio. Okay, low. Okay, alam mo lang yung magagawa. So, no. I think this one. We will see. Okay, pa yung audio is this one. Sige. So, ang isang sinasabi natin is yung glucose is not essential because we can actually create our own glucose through the process of gluconeogenesis. Baka kalimutan mo na naman. So, gluconeogenesis is a natural process ng ating katawan where it forms glucose kapag ito ay nangangailangan na ng ating katawan because we will always have that need for glucose kahit pa mostly ketones na yung ating fuel, but at least part of our body will still need glucose. At yun, hindi natin kailangan kunin talaga from other food intake, like from sugar per se. Because again, we can create our own glucose through the process of gluconeogenesis. Galing siya sa mga misfolded proteins natin, and even from our triglycerides. Triglycerides, that's the fats, no? But it has a glycerol background na pwedeng magamit and can be used as energy. But I think yung isang mga nagsasabi na kinokontra talaga nila that low carb is not really like healthy because they don't know the problem when it comes to the insulin burden ng ating katawan. Inflammation at yung mga kung ano pang mga tumor formation sa ating katawan is mostly related to too much insulin sa ating katawan. And there's many ways to lower our insulin. So, anong common na diet na alam mo before low carb and fasting? Yung typical diet. Kapag sinasabing magda-diet ako, anong pumapasok sa isipan?
Ano lang, pinababaan yung calorie intake.
Yeah, so that's the most common way. It's the lowered calorie intake. Kontian yung pagkain. So, usually they eat in very small portions. And yes, it's good because it will, of course, lower the insulin burden. Kasi nga, insulin will spike kahit anong kainin mo. It's just that it will spike so high, sobrang taas ng impact if you are going to eat carbohydrates. Carbohydrates followed by proteins. And lowering your overall intake will, of course, lower your insulin. That's why yung pagda-diet, the typical na diet na inisip natin, is effective but not effective for so long. Bakit kaya no sound? Tingnan natin. It's no sound. Kunin ko muna. Can you hold, please? Sige, chika ka muna yan. Or kumanta ka lang muna bago ako. Habang nilisat ako, kumanta ka lang muna dyan. We will see. You will see. Try long. Sandali lang. Wait, ha? Yan. We will see if it's better. Okay. So, set up ko pala muna. Settings, audio, iPhone. Hindi siya naka-match. iPhone microphone na pala yung kanya. Yeah. That's why. Sandali lang. Wait lang. Kayo dyan. Wala, no? So, iPhone microphone na lang tayo. Yun, it's not, it's not very clear. So, malapit na lang. Let's make it closer. So, yan, closer na lang. Is this better? Yan, malapit lang yung mukha namin so that you can hear us better. So, sana tayo. Ano, ganun talaga. Minimum distance na namin eh. Ito yung aming minimum distance. Hello, Shane. So, crash diet or yung pagda-diet na merong kinakain na konti lang is effective when it comes to healing but only short term. Kasi nga, malolower yung insulin mo sa katawan. However, it's not sustainable in the long run because eventually, mag-protein losing ka, magma-muscle wasting ka because you're not eating enough pero yung inyong source of energy is still glucose. So, yung mangyayari, yung katawan mo, kukunin niya yung muscles na pinaghirapan mo at iti-turn niya ito into glucose or into energy na kung naka-low carb ka sana and you are eating kahit calorie deficit pa, kahit mas konti yung calorie na kinakain mo, but you are eating, like say for example, more on proteins and fats, you will be fat adapted. Na, say for example, you need 2,000 kilocalories in a day. Tapos, yung kinakain mo is 1,000 kcal lang. The other 1,000 kilocalories, this is just a rough estimate, huwag kayong OA dyan sa pagko-compute. So, the other 1,000 kilocalories that you need can easily be supplemented. Manggagaling na siya sa stored fats. So, kahit pa you are looking lean, you still have fats. I think with you, meron ka siguro nasa 15 to 15% na 50
plus.
Talaga? Galing-galing ko naman. Pero estimate ko lang, with your physique right now, I think nasa 15% body fats ka. Yun talaga, yung pag-measure mo ng body composition. Body.
17.
Ganyan. Sa 15, I'm about to say 15 to 20%, but not over 20. So, yun. So, even if someone is looking really lean na hindi mataba, meron niyang stored fats. And stored fats is okay to be used. Nakakatakot yung fats sa katawan kapag ito ay hindi natin ginagamit. But if we are using it, if we are utilizing it, at parali natin siyang nare-replenish, that is okay. So, yun yung pinaka-importante. And no question na ang low carb and fasting when it comes to weight loss. May mga nagtatanong lang, how can you gain weight? So, how can you gain weight? Ikaw, hindi ka naman talaga kailangan mag-lose ng weight, di ba? And you are on weight gain right now. And ano yung ginagawa mo to gain weight?
Increase lang yung calories.
Increase calorie intake and then...
yung food lang is low carb pa rin pero increase yung calorie, more on protein, fat.
The energy can come from proteins and fats, but the muscle bulking should come from rest and protein intake and exercise. Ano yung pinaka-exercise that can lead into muscle bulking?
Weightlifting.
Weightlifting. Weights talaga. Hindi cardio, di ba? Hindi cardio. Cardio will make you even leaner. Di ba? Will make you even parang yung bones mo, yung muscles mo will be flexible, will be stronger, but it's not really gonna give you the bulk that you need. So,
kailangan masira mo na yung muscles.
Para
mag-repair, doon na siya maglalaki.
Yes. So, the process is, dapat muna, you break down the muscles, so you do strenuous exercise like weightlifting. And then pagkatapos, you eat so that you'll have the resources, the building blocks, para mapunan yung muscles. Muscles is meat. Yun yung kinakain natin sa karne. So of course, doon din tayo makukuha ng amino acids to build up those muscles, to make proteins, at mapafacilitate yun with the right rest. Kailangan talaga may rest. So, hindi pwedeng walang rest. So, for those na nagtatanong, how can you gain weight in low carb? First, you have to know that when it comes to low carb, when it comes to gaining weight, hindi lang basta pagkain lamang yung low carb. You should have the element of exercise, of weightlifting, para magkaroon, yung sinasabi ko magkaroon ng reason yung katawan mo to hang on to those proteins. Otherwise, it will not hang on to those proteins, di ba? And rest, sleep is very important. Yun yung kulang ni Maming. Kasi si Maming, marami siyang physical activity, pero marami din siyang kinakain ng proteins, pero kulang siya ng rest. So, yun yung pag-pray natin kay mami na dumami yung kanyang resting period for her to build muscle. So, Doc Venus, Doc Escandor, Ken, gahilom-hilom ra jud ay ka sa una ha, si Grudge na jud ay mong target. Si Doc,
Si Doc,
Doc Marte. Doc Marte. Doc Marte. Hello, Doc. Good morning. Wa, Doc, ay. Wa, bigat targetan na ay. Karoon namin nakaibaw. Good morning, Doc. Thank you for being here. Doc Marte is also one of those doctors who first opened up to fasting. So, I think she was able to accomplish 1 week of fasting. And like you, 1 week din na fasting,
7 days,
no? 7 days. And it's not something na kailangan yung gawin forever. But it's a good experience to try. And for healing.
Once a year?
Once a year. For me, I will do it regularly, once a year. This year, nakapag-fasting na ba ako this year? Wala pa, parang 4 days ba? Sabay tayo. Sige, sabay tayo fasting. And ano yung may mga nagtatanong, swimming is good exercise po ba?
Oo. Kasi ano siya?
Total body workout. And then, although, if you have to increase, certain muscle groups lang yung matatarget when it comes to bulking. More the back muscles. At yun, magiging maganda yung katawan mo. And I like swimming. You like swimming also? Yan. Kasi hindi ako pinapawisan. Hindi ka papawisan. Yun lang yung exercise na hindi ka papawisan. Yun. So, I also like swimming. And nag-swimming kami last week. And it was nice. Bawal sweet sa low carb. Yeah, bawal sweet sa low carb. Except sweet na low carb like love. So, ano yung aming drinks ngayon? So, we're just having cold brew coffee. So, this is cold brew coffee. And then, humingi lang kami ng isang baso ng ice. And then, yan lang. So, no sugar. Pait. Hindi ko kaya ganito kapait. So, kapag ganito kapait, I usually just add water para hindi ganun kapait. Pero ikaw, no? Kaya mo na pait. Wow! Amazing. So, maraming nagsasabi na hindi daw sustainable yung low carb. So, low carb is actually more sustainable kasi hindi ka nagka-calorie deficit. Hindi mo kailangang pababain yung overall calorie intake mo. Diba? You can even eat as much as you want. Kaya, very arbitrary kapag nagtatanong, like you asked me last time, diba? How will you know if you've eaten enough? Yung ganun. So, it's mostly based on satiety. No? Kung nafe-feel mo na you're already like satisfied with your food, that's actually already enough. So, yung iba nga lang, especially sa nakita ko sa mga elderlies, mga mommies, na mga payat na, like si mommy, si mommy na, si tita noon na mommy na ngayon, si mommy, na sobrang liit na ng appetite. Konting kain lang, nabubusog na agad. So, for those na merong ganong problema, you have to time your meals. Kung pwede, kung na-train na ninyo yung sarili ninyo na hindi na masyadong kumakain, you can also retrain yourself to increase your food intake. But this time, you have to eat right. You have to choose carefully kung ano yung inyong kakainin. Okay? So, for those na nagtatanong kung ano yung kakainin, how to start low carb, so you can just start with the safe list. So, pinaka-basic, ulam at gulay. Kung hindi kumakain ng gulay, no problem. Kumakain ka ba ng gulay?
Hindi masyado.
Hindi masyado. Ako din. I like gulay sana, kaya lang nag-bloat ako. So, ano na yan? Nilet go ko ng gulay. Hello po, Doc. Sabi po ninyo, bawal ang sweet sa low carb. Bakit po sobrang sweet ninyong dalawa? Ito yung minimum distance namin. Diba? Sa lahat ng nakakita ng kanilang one true love, ng kanilang the one, you will understand. For those na hindi pa makapaniwala na this thing can exist, like, we've only been together as couple in, I think, 15 days. Nasa 15 days pa lang. And wala. Alam lang namin talaga na we are the one for each other. So, we are both very, very skeptical. Just like nutrition. Just like thinking na yung kung ano yung kinakain natin has a direct impact sa ating health, sa ating mga sakit. We don't believe in that before, di ba? Di ba in med school, yung ating subject on nutrition, para siya yung nuisance.
Yung food pyramid talaga.
Yung food pyramid. Yung food pyramid na pina-follow. And then, never natin question yung food pyramid kasi yun yung standard na binibigay na suggestion. And however, never rin natin question yung mga sakit natin na lifestyle disease. Kasi tinanggap natin na it's just part of the process, na magkakasakit talaga tayong lahat. But if you are to think about it, they could be directly related. Na yung pagkain pala na sinasuggest, which is the food pyramid, might be the same reason na meron itong direct link when it comes to lifestyle diseases. Kasi sa mga diabetics dyan at sa mga hypertensive ay makikita ninyo what are you eating, kung ano yung inyong pinagkakakain, and it's mostly following the food pyramid. Diba? You mentioned before na because Ken is, hindi ako sanay tawagin kang Ken talaga. Kentan, with ano talaga, with apelido, is a radiologist. So, nung first year daw siya ng residency, you check your thyroid at merong cyst. Pero after, when did the last time that you checked again?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Nagpo-fasting ka na nun. I mean, meron ka na, we're fasting already, di ba?
Tagal.
Wala na, di ba?
Wala.
So, we don't know. We don't know if it's related to fasting or change in lifestyle or whatever. Pero, we know that the way you were eating when you were in first year, so that was 7 years ago?
More or less.
More or less. So, the way you were eating 7 years ago as compared to 2 years ago is really much different.
And I feel much
Much stronger?
Yeah.
Healthier?
Overall, conditioning. Parang condition na condition.
Condition para?
Para magmahal.
Para magmahal. Yeah. So, yun yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. That you know what you are going to do. Social distancing daw. Social distancing, applicable lang yan sa mga, hindi ko alam, sa mga hindi dapat magsama habang buhay. But if you're meant to stay together forever, dapat walang social distancing yan. At saka, it's an open area. That's why we are here. Open area naman. So, wala kaming kasama dito within 3-meter radius. So, walang tao dito. Magkapukha kami, no? Kaya nga kala namin magkapatid kami before. Paano mag-fasting ang may acid reflux? We have an ongoing masterclass na GERD and hyperacidity and ulcer masterclass para malaman niyo how to slowly incorporate yung low carb and fasting. But to be safe, no need to think about fasting. Just do low carb. Bakit uunahin mo yung low carb before fasting? Because when you do low carb, you will still eat. Hindi ka mahihirapan. Hindi mo mas iisip na parang you are punishing yourself. You are still going to eat. But this time, you are going to eat right. Yung kakainin mo is yung tamang pagkain, and by 2 weeks of sticking to our safe list, your level of inflammation will go down at yung acid na yan will be tolerated by your body. Hindi dahil sa bababa yung acid secretion mo, but tataas yung protective layer mo sa inyong tiyan. Because kapag merong pananakit like gastritis, ulcer, it's not just the presence of acid. Because it's perpetually there, di ba? It's always acidic yung tiyan natin. But it's the removal of protection, the mucin layer ng ating stomach, na kung saan kapag nawala yan, then dun na siyang parang kakainin ng acid, causing gastritis. Okay lang ba? Approve ba sa'yo, sir? Yung pinagsasabi ko, sir? So, yan. And hindi ko po napanood yung mga videos na yan, at wala akong balak panoorin because it's just added review at wala nga akong panahon na manood ng mas importanteng bagay yun pa kaya. But we are just here to spread love and positivity and happiness and education when it comes to low carb, fasting, love, and everything in between. And also, low carb is not for everyone. Shout out pala kay meron isa sa mga nag-comments doon na na-send lang din sa akin. I'm very, very thankful na there's people like you na even without me asking, you are defending our way of life. It's not just you defending me, but it's you defending this way of life na kayo mismo ang naka-experience how it changed you, how it helped you and your loved ones. Si Henson Tolosa. So, Henson Tolosa, maraming salamat. Bina Badanserina Macalino, Pablo Marife. Sila yung mga sobrang babait na mga and of course, Rochelle, na mga nag-defend talaga kahit hindi naman tayo kailangan mag-defend. So, low carb is not for everyone, but if you think na what you are doing is not yet enough, hindi mo pa masasabi sa sarili mo that I'm at the top of my health, that I am in my best healthiest state ever, then maybe, kung hindi pa kayo naka-low carb, maybe it's a good way to try.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. So, low carb is one way to lower the insulin burden in the body, and there's another way also, which is fasting. So, they go together because mas magiging easier yung fasting period mo when you are on low carb. And at the same time, kapag nagpa-fasting ka, the benefits that you will get from fasting, hindi rin mawawala. You will maximize also the benefits of fasting when you are eating low carb. So, they go together. But for many, kahit pa yung mga other doctors who are saying na they are not practicing low carb, but they're actually practicing, but they're healthy they're actually somewhat practicing a lowered insulin burden. So, it could be through intermittent fasting, it could be a lowered food intake, okay? Kahit pa high carb pa yan, or kahit low fat or high fat, pero lowered overall calorie intake, or others increasing their physical activity. Because insulin will be more, your body will become more sensitive to insulin if you exercise. So, maraming paraan. Shout out to our dearest friend, our PGI before, back when we were still interns, we were still clerk, and aming pinaka-bossing at pinaka-idol namin PGI, Dr. Nico de la Cruz. K-pop lang, malakas. And everyone, maraming salamat. Hello po sa lahat. Gentleman looking daw? Gentleman looking. Gentleman talaga yan. Kahit hindi siya masyadong gentleman para sa ibang nakakakilala sa kanya. But alam kong may gentleman. Aking pinakamama. My one true love. The masagdain ng mga righteous. You do what you do. Daghan ka natabangan. Especially with who has struggled so much with weight issues. Thank you so much, Doc. Mahal ko si Doc Venus, Asia Escandor. For those in Cebu na merong mga kids, Doc Venus is a pediatrician, and you'll be in safe hands, okay? Blooming daw, kasi in love talaga. Kakalungkot siguro yung mukha ko before, no? Happy sila lahat for me ngayon. So, yun. Ano ba pag-uusapan natin? So, stevia, dark chocolate. So, I have those from time to time. Meron talaga akong ganun. Like this one. Meron akong baon na hindi ko naubos kahapon. So, eto galing sa cake ni Mami. So, it's strawberry na melt na merong na chocolate na nakabalot. Merong mga gold. This is dark chocolate. Kung dark chocolate, meron kahit hindi stevia. Kahit parang made of sugar. But konting-konti. So, 85% dark chocolate. Nasa ano lang yan, nasa mga 10 grams or 5 grams per 100 grams na chocolate. So, isang bar na ganyan. Hindi mo naman siguro, although mauubos ko yan, sa totoo lang. Pero hindi ko na yan gagawin ngayon. So, stevia, sweetened, it's in caution list. Nasa caution list yan because the effect of these sweeteners, tulad ng mga nasa zero soda, yung mga drinks na mga zero calorie, they may be okay when it comes to blood sugar control, but yung effect nila sa utak natin. So, the more you eat them, the more you consume them, the more you will crave for them. So, dapat, kung meron ka i-crave, yun lang yung bagay na healthy para sa iyo. Okay? kung hindi siya healthy para sa'yo and you are craving it, so it's not. Okay? So, ano ang kinikrave mo?
Ikaw.
Yun yung mga sagot na tama talaga yung mga sagot niya. Kaya, love na love yan. Hindi nagkakamali sa mga sagot. Okay? Low carb. I'm low carb. Okay? I'm low carb. So, okay lang yan. Sana all. Ay, sige. What else? Wala na. Maraming salamat po. Galunggong sa may diabetes. Bakit bawal? Galunggong is just protein. It's just fish. Okay? Walang bawal. Hindi bawal yan. Yung mas bawal is kapag yung kinakain mong galunggong ay merong kanin at merong sinangag yung fried rice. Merong tinapay, merong soft drinks, merong kung ano-ano pa. But galunggong alone, nakakain ako, I think, hanggang 3 to 5 na galunggong in one sitting. Pero wala akong iba kinakain. So, yun. So, just, I like fish. Hindi ka masyadong hilig sa fish. Hindi masyado. More on meat ka, no? Red meat. Chicken. Chicken yung white meat mo.
Beef.
Chicken, pork. Yeah, chicken, pork. Gusto ko talaga may fish. Pero yung fish, siya yung rice. Kasi wala siyang lasa na masarap. Kumakain ka ba ng taba ng, yung chan, yung bangus?
Bangus.
Meron akong binibili dyan. Bili tayo. Yung bangus belly. Bangus belly lang siya. Ano na siya? Puro bangus belly lang. Walang other part. Sobrang sarap. So, yun yung gusto kong kainin. Magkakamukha ba kami na magkapatid kami before, magkapatid kami before. Ngayon, nag-ano kami. Sige. I think yun lang. Wala naman siguro anything else na. What time is it? 10:30. We're early. I still have work later. And he's flying back to Cebu later. So, we're just maximizing our time together and sharing few moments with you as our way of thanking you for supporting us and being a part of our extended family. So, like si Flor de Liza, almost 3 months trying low carb, no rice. So, congratulations! Wala kang sinasabi na may iba ka na. Wala kang sinasabi na may iba na ako. May iba na ako. May iba. Wala naman ako iba before. Right, from Melbourne. Soulmates daw parehan na. Good morning from Muscarias. And yan. So yun lang yung aming ngayon. Kanina meron din kombucha and cold brew, chocolate. Yun. Yung last meal ko kahapon. Anong oras kami natapos ng first phase? 4? Yeah, 4. Yun lang. Isang lang, parang chicken lang na maliit. Gutom ako actually yesterday. Ikaw, katayin ka. Yung first meal. Last meal. Lunch?
1 meal lang ako kahapon.
OMAD ka kapon? OMAD na big OMAD. Kasi buffet.
Kita kami nagka-classic kami. I mean, co-resident pala. Shout out pala kay Dr. Noel. George Opay.
And
Yan,
also,
nag-meet ko kahapon.
and your co-resident, si Al? Si Al. And the family, our family, Redulosa, and Tan, and Rojo, and Chua. Maraming salamat everybody. Thank you so much. Tingnan natin kung mayroong question na pwede natin itanong, sagutin, although everybody are just very happy. Sobrang thankful to them. No more question? We gotta go. Let's go twice. Wala na. No more questions. So, thank you so much everyone. Maraming salamat. We'll see you again. For those who want to be a part of our exclusive groups, we have LCF Masterclass para sa iba't ibang sakit, diabetes, hypertension, CKD, hyperuricemia, GERD, PCOS, infertility, marami pang iba, fatty liver, to get to know more about the application of low carb. Paano ito ma-incorporate, especially for those na meron iniinom na gamot. Again, hindi nyo dapat itigil yung inyong mga gamot. Not until your doctor says so. Okay, so we will teach you how to do it right, how to monitor, and when to possibly go back to your doctor at kayo na mismo mag-uusap. And so far, maraming na their doctors, even if they are not low carb doctors, they are the ones who decided na i-wean off na because there's at least a month monitoring na makikita talaga na it's proven and tested that it works. Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po, di ba? Unlean milk, so any formula milk or any processed milk, it's not essential. Meron tayong video dyan when it comes to dairies and milk products, bakit nasa caution list siya. Okay? So, thank you so much. If you wish to know more, message nyo lang yung admins natin para matulungan kayo how to enroll. So, as always, this is your dad, Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo, and my one true love. What's your name? Kentan. And always remember to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Bye-bye. Love, love.